Hey, I'm Marcus and I'm playing Crusader Kings 3. The last 5 years have been very tumultuous for Graf Ezzo of Sayn. That is largely due to the death of his wife, Radegund, here in childbirth. And I think he hasn't quite recovered from that. Not because he was so emotionally attached to Radegund, there hadn't been little love between them, but because that was just part of his whole environment. Like, as we do see, like, he's a very focused person, very purposeful, and when things happen around him that do not fit into his great plan, he gets a little wonky. And we saw that in several instances, especially when it comes to the love side of things. He does have a lover now, and I don't think he's very happy with that, to be honest. When he was on a hunt, he managed to come across a certain Oda here. And she was very nice to him. She let him stay at her house. They had a fun night and so on. And following this instinct, and I guess, again, that drives into his purposeful nature, he allowed her to come to court with him. Now even gave her a position here. She, on the other hand, used that to proclaim that she was the mistress of him, and that she had been indeed pregnant, but she lost the child, and 2 times in a row. Now that could be auspicious in a way. Many things obviously could be the cause for that. At the same time, we do know that people at the time, were a bit superstitious, or they believed in judgment by God or powers outside of their reach. So I do believe that Ezzo sees that as some kind of punishment. He is deemed a sinner currently, and that is something that wouldn't sit right with him, as that would probably prevent him from going to heaven in the afterlife. But he kept doing it anyway. So I think he's finally waking up and thinking, hey, I'm doing something horribly wrong. And I need to mend what is mendable, and I need to care for my family. He does have 3 daughters, all from Radegund, and that is Adelheid, of course, Richinza, and Winfrieda. Now he knows that should he pass, then Adelheid here would be left in charge of the inheritance, and she is now married to Eckehard von Berg. So that means their children would ultimately rule over Sayn as well. Well, that thought is not so bad. I do believe that he would have this idea of saying, I would want for my children and their children to rule over these lands, and it should be in the name of Sayn. I think that would sound right with him. That means he does have to have a son. Okay, game mechanics talk for a moment. I had a game rule checked from one of the mods that said that if people have sufficient heirs or children or something like that, they would likely not remarry over a certain age. And for whatever reason, that applied to Ezzo here, even though he does not have a son. And he's only 34. I think that's not that very old. Nevertheless, he was not able to marry conventionally. Luckily, I have the More Interactive Vassals mod installed, and that one allows you, and you need to look it up in the settings, it's another thing that you need to check. It allows you to change some of the game rules mid-game. That's immense, right? So, and I just did that. I said that the game rule concerning marriages should be more lenient, and ta-da, we're able to marry again. Woo! So there's that. I'll stop the game rule talk now. Okay, so how does he go about it? I think he would tackle this from several different angles. Of course, I think he realizes now that the relationship with Oda had been wrong. that he should not have done this, that he should never have done what he did, bringing her to court, putting her in a position of power. That's all, of course, his trusting nature. That's kind of what he has inherited from his father. Being a bit naive about things, I think. But now his vengeful side kicks in, I would say. He realizes that she might have used him to get in a position of power where she is currently in. He might blame her for losing for losing these children that they would have had. And as we do see, we still can either pardon or imprison her. I do believe he would go the second route now. And indeed imprison her. As you will see, we will succeed here. She would be surprised by this, right? That's why it's 100%. People often argue, like, why is it like 20% or so, even if the person is at my court? Well, if you are their nemesis or whatever, they would likely expect that kind of thing. So they might have already prepared for something like that. So they are not caught by surprise if you actually want to try and imprison them, which means that it would be easier for them to get out of this. That's my reasoning of why this is sometimes so bad. But in this position here, she is not expecting this, apparently. She thinks herself secure where she is, and that would be her downfall. So, imprison. By the way, I do not think, again, this is not a just thing that he's currently doing. And that's, again, the kind of difference between him being vengeful and being just. He's being vengeful right here. He's not being just. In his mind, he is being just. That's always something to keep in mind. Now, okay, so while we're doing this, and obviously what we will do then is banish her from court. There's no reason to be any more dramatic about this. You would just want her gone, and certainly break up with her as a lover afterwards, or once she's in prison. Okay, so that's the very first thing. Now, I do believe that Ezzo would want to go into this with a mindset of saying, okay, I want to focus on this. I want to focus on having this relationship. I want to focus on having a wife and have kids. And you can probably guess where this is going. I would like to enter the family focus path. That being said, though, we're very close to getting a new perk here, and I would really like to have enduring hardships here. As you see here, additional fort level +1, plague resistance +10, that's quite nice. Enemy occupations do not lower control, that's also quite nice. So if someone comes along and tries to take our lands, then it wouldn't hurt us that much. So I would like to wait for this. This is about 6 months. That's fine for me. I did see that Lothar, our personal physician, he wouldn't be able to improve his skills much further. As we can see, he has novice physician trait. His learning is quite decent. So I guess he could go into advanced research. There we are. So we get an additional +8% on lifestyle. So it might be the tiniest bit faster now. So there we go. Yeah, still says 6 months, but anyways. So that's the very first thing. After these 6 months, we will change to the family focus. Should need to keep that in mind. Once I get the perk, that would trigger something, I hope. And yeah, so the question is now, whom does he marry? And I have 2 candidates. I had several suggestions in the comments, and thank you for that. I did go into all of your suggestions. I had to draw some lines though, and the kind of one of the lines for me would be, if a person is significantly older than 30, I don't think that would come, he would even think about it. At the time, you would think of fertility as largely related to your age, and that therefore you would marry very young on the woman side of things. Now he's 34. That's totally fine. Men married in their later stages in life all the time, but when they married, they usually married much younger. So that would have been normal at the time. And on the other hand, of course, there's several other factors to go for. So I did make these kind of two choices that I will roll for in the end, by the way. So I'm going to surprise myself as well here, to a degree. And the first choice that I found, and that's going to make user Muhammad in the comments very happy, is Regenlind von Habsburg. Now, of course, we all know the Habsburgs. They are the famous, very, very famous house that is, well, maybe not in this game, but in reality, took over the institution of Kaiser, made it somewhat inheritary, right? They were the ones to occupy the Kaiser position from the Renaissance era onwards. And she is, interestingly, the widow of Kaiser Liutprand. So she was already married, like us. She's a widower. A widow. We are a widower. And she already has a son. So at least that means that she's able to have children and able to have sons. That would be great. She's older than 30. That's, I think, significant when it comes to this. She is also very much alike to his former wife. Very much so. Humble and reliant. I think Radegund was zealous as well. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly, but I guess we can have a look. Yes. Zealous. Well, she wasn't humble but content, but that's, yeah, potato. Very reliant. So there's that. She is very similar to his former wife, so he knows how to deal with that. Knows that she will be quiet, she will be in the background, she wouldn't ask too many things of him. That being said, she comes with a debt as well. That's something that he would have to get rid of, so that he would have to invest in. So there's some pluses and there's some minuses there. The other one, and that's something completely out of left field. I just saw that when I hit find marriage, and that is her. That is Princess Vyacheslav of Ruthenia. Okay, how do I even consider this? So she is the daughter of King Vyacheslav of Ruthenia. So that is, as you do see, far in the east. He's sitting in Kiev, and obviously Orthodox. How would I even consider this? If you go a few generations back, you would have, well, before him and before him, there we go, and even further, I guess, there we are. There was King Yaroslav the Wise, and he was this politiker who was very good at figuring out relationships with the bigger and more stable kingdoms in Western Europe. And we know that his daughters largely married in these big dynasties. So we had Anastasia here, and she married the king, or, well, who would become the king of Hungary. He was not at the time, he was in exile at the time when they married. So that's probably something to consider when it comes to that. But then she had a sister, Elisabetta here, and she famously was married to Harald the Heart Ruler, and so on, right? They had all these sisters here. We have Anna, who was married to the King of France. So there's this kind of background of, the Rus people marrying into Western houses. Of course, we're not one of the big ones, right? We're no king or anything. There is another thing, though, and that obviously did not happen in this game, but in real life, there was this Count of Stade who married another princess from Ruthenia over there, and she later became the second wife of Kaiser Heinrich IV. But she married a count first. So there's precedence for this. And then I was thinking, would it make sense for someone like Vyacheslav here to think, okay, if I want to reestablish this and want to have connections to the West, would I marry my daughter into some of the families in there that have some power? And then maybe it's not about Ezzo, it probably is about Siegfried, who was well known, I think, beyond the borders of the Holy Roman Empire, as this very, very important person in the realm. So, yeah, any foreign dignitary would still probably think that the Sayns have large sway in the empire, or even like existing networks that they could rely on. And that would still be true to a degree. So I think that's totally possible. And of course, the game does allow for this. There you go. He's accepting of it. And so, yeah, should be considered, I think. She is 16, of course. That's great, right? That's he would want to marry young. Also, like, I guess she fits with him from a personal level. Of course, she does not like him very much, largely because she's zealous and therefore would want to follow her orthodox rites. I did look that up as well, and until the Fourth Crusade, you know, the ones where the Catholics sack Constantinople, it was not that problematic, marriages between Catholics and Orthodox. And of course, she would not convert. I guess she would publicly then go to church and whatever, but I would have a very private setting where she would still do everything according to her Orthodox ways. Okay, so these are the two options that I have. Either Regenlind, which would somewhat be a safer option, but not that great when it comes to the prospect of having children, which is his main focus. Vyacheslava here would be the risky option. We don't know how she would interact with us. Also, very intelligent. That's great as well, isn't it? And yeah, how do we bring this all together? That's now the question, and that I will do this by rolling the die. That's the best option I have. So either we take Regenlind or we take Vyacheslava. That would reflect his own thought process of like where would he go, what should he do, and I will do it now. I brought back the thingy, so you hear it now. Right, 1 to 3 is Regenlind, 4 to 6 is Vyacheslava. It is a 4. It is a 4, and therefore he goes with Vyacheslava. Again, might that make sense? He is able to make that connection. He knows that, or at least the family is known for being able to produce offspring. So there's that. She's right at the best age for marriage, at least in his thoughts. Again, I always have to say this. That does not reflect my own thoughts. I do not think people should marry at 16. And therefore would go for it. I think, though, that what we should be doing is offer again a grand wedding. That might have been even something that King Vyacheslav here would say is mandatory. Again, because not only are we showing our station here, but also we are networking. This would... Ezzo does not like this, right? That is why I rolled for this in the end. Like, he would have had the safe option with Regenlind. We wouldn't have had a grand wedding. That would be a very quiet affair. But now he goes for the risky option, and that means, again, going against his own nature, against his shy nature, right? So he has to be out in the open now. He has to be a networker, because that is the promise that he makes to Vyacheslav. So we will have to have the big grand wedding. So there's that. We will send the proposal, I think, now. Oh, we are. That's that done. Oof. Yeah, of course, I would like to have that marriage here. If they had sons, that would have been quite nice, because they would have gotten these claims. But no, let's get rid of that thought. That's gone now. That's done and dusted. That is that. I didn't need to unpin her, but anyways, she will be in our court in a moment. Well, in a moment, in a few months, years, I think. Right, so there's that. By the way, I didn't zoom in because these guys here are clanging their weapons, and yeah. Is there anything else I wrote down? Oh, I did see that he's able to fight again in January of 1117, so that's something to keep in mind. Hope I remember that. Maybe I'll tie this to getting the perk, so I can do two things. Yeah. Other than that, the war against France is still going. It's not really against France. It's, well, I guess from the Holy Roman Empire side, I would say it's for France, because the rightful person to sit on the French throne should be our dear, well, there we go, brother-in-law Popo. And then, of course, if they win, and it's likely that they will, at least from what we're currently seeing here, then France will become part of the Holy Roman Empire. Boom. In other news, the English are at it again. King Frank, who is of the Normandy dynasty, has reconquered largely what his predecessor in King Harold once did, right? He conquered most of the British Isles, and he's now redoing this. He is claiming Ireland, he's claiming northern England and the Isles, but there's another player in here, as the big kingdom of Norway, Denmark, is also making more aggressive claims to these lands here. So they conquered the whole of Moray. Interesting. So we will see where this is going in the future. That being said, apart from that, I think not too many changes. The Byzantine Empire is now really like the direct adversary of the Holy Roman Empire when it comes to the lands here in Hungary and what is nowadays Romania and Moldavia. So that's interesting. The Pope, he's back in Rome, and I think at some point we should invest some money into seeking indulgences, which would mean that we would get rid of this stain on our reputation that is being brandished a fornicator. All right. I think I've done what I wanted to do, and therefore I will just continue again. Yeah, we'll listen to them clanging the weapons for a while now. Right, she is holding a grudge. Of course she is. Oda has been apprehended and awaits her fate safely locked in my dungeons. Good. Alright, so few things. Of course, we'll break up with her. And then she will be banished from our lands. There we go. Again, we do not have the right person for this job. I'm really against Adelinde in that position here. Okay, we're still entrusting her with our children, right? So we are trusting her to a degree. But maybe he's learned from this now. Okay, I can't give a person too much power. And he wouldn't know how Adelinde would use that power. She might use that to, I don't know. Well, she holds a grudge. There's no rivals here, but... For the time being, I don't think we need a spy master terribly. It's not a position that we make use of at the moment, so that's fine for me. Now, to the impressive Ezzo. See? I'm impressive. Yeah, he's distinguished. You'll be joined with my daughter Vyacheslava in matrimony. I pray that you together can find redemption and atonement as well as happiness. Interesting phrasing. I also look forward to the promised grand wedding. Try not to disappoint me. There we go. He is indeed, of course, a king, and therefore above our tier. I think so. I think though that the it's a bit overstated, him being a king and us being a count. I don't think that in a medieval reality that would have mattered that much. Given that he's not really king in a way, like he would call himself a knyaz, right? So that's a Slavic word for ruler. By no means a king as in the King of France or the King of England, which these in fact formulaic titles. But yeah, okay. So we need to host the grand wedding. Done it before, so we know how this goes. let's see how much do we need to invest to make this happen. We can do that in Sayn, no worries. If we just strip it down to the bare minimum, we arrive at 158 gold that we need to invest in about 3 years, and that's totally doable. She's not already on her way to us, is she? No, she would not be. She's like moving around somewhere else. Okay, so that's the money that we need. We know how to make money. It's June. I guess it's time that we go back to Cologne, do some work. Not go through the dreaded Isenburg forest. Jesus Christ, they make it so difficult for me. How is this so difficult? Oh, and now even that is supposed to be... Okay. Alright, okay. So that is our little itinerary here. Go back and forth between Sayn and Cologne. Make some money on the way. Right. I'll leave and never return. Oh, she has found refuge in Rheingold. Okay. Well, I think he would try his best to forget her now. Of course, his vengeful nature will kind of always... Yeah, he will remember her. Parts of the road in Duisburg are covered with wooden planks, as is common in some places to make travel easier. However, it should be no surprise that this wood is oftentimes subject to theft, particularly in more rural areas. As it so happens, we encountered a party of ruffians trying to take these wooden planks. They tried to make off with the wood as soon as we approached. I think he would try to stop them. Yeah. Oh, he did not manage to do that. You failed to catch the thieves. So now we have to wait. Rustic matrimony. Passing through a remote village, a gathering of peasants in the distance catches my eye. For the small crowd under a ramshackle trellis painstakingly covered in a variety of wildflowers stand 3 figures, a man, a woman, and what I surmise is a local priest. Whilst the wedding is nothing out of the ordinary, the joining of 2 souls is always seen as a momentous occasion by both common folk and nobles alike. Perhaps I should act accordingly. I can give them a gift of 20 gold. And spend the time with them. I will consider this, actually, given the position that we're currently in. Of course, that means spending money that I don't currently have. I know. But he might see this as a sign that he should be like, okay, I should be appreciative of these things. I'll just roll for this. It is a 4, so he says, no, we do move on. Nice thought, though. The piety would have been nice, actually. Right, and we do receive news that Adelheid is pregnant by Eckehard. First of all, let's get to the court, though. We do perform our courtly duties. I think we'll just do what we're best at. Developing the county. Oh, there could be another person that could help us when it comes to this. I would mean having to use prestige. But I guess he will do that. I think we would want to be faster. He does have pressure. And I think he works great under pressure. Oh, that's his preferred mode, as we've established. Like, he needs some outside pressure for him to be able to do something. And again, that kind of makes all the more sense. It's like why he would go for Vyacheslava, not the secure, quote-unquote, route with Regenlind. My people still fighting. There's Herzog Gerardo, who's now established his power base again up here. And he's fighting... Alright, okay, he's fighting in a Liberty War. Can attend court again. I think we're doing the thing that he did last time, is in between working, he would also get his rest. Oh yeah, by the way, our trade post has been updated. Yeah, now we lack the prestige to go any further in there. We would be able to look into another building that we could go for. Workshop would make sense. Grainfield would make sense. Vineyard would make sense. Barn, garden. Let me think about that for a moment. Can still have alliances, by the way. He would offer an alliance, and I think that is something we would take. Yeah. Now we're allied with 2 of our brothers-in-law. Of course, with Adam here. And then with Baldwin. I renamed him Arnstein, by the way. There was no real aristocratic house of Koblenz, but there was a dynasty called Arnstein in the closest vicinity. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take his little nap. Take a power nap before he's continuing. Right. Should be enough to do this once, I think, to get us over 158. We will see, though. Yeah, I guess. Now, we're not going to have any alliances with people from that direction. Our suffragan bishop hates us again. Tirske. I said I wouldn't sway, right? Okay, so there we are. Enduring hardships. Yes, I would like to have that. Then we can go ahead and say, okay, he's definitely now focusing on family. There we are. Yeah, this is still... We have time. Not sure if he sees us that way, but we do know that he's not a very impatient person. He would not do these things that he has set out. Like, for him, it's not a matter of, like, when can I do that in the fastest, but rather, like, how can I do it right? And therefore, we are going back to taking our little nap. There we are. Mm-hmm. Oh! We have Erzbischof Eckbert. Yeah, they are doing the very same now, right? Nice person, very good in his field, so that's why he was voted in there. They don't vote for politicians no more. They vote for good Catholic rulers. And he says he will take me. Therefore, yes, of course, I will gladly do that. There we go. And I guess there we are. That's at 100%. Let's be there for the final moment. Oof! Jesus. Yeah, that's the Holy Roman Empire now. And in our very close neighborhood, there is King Popo of France. The Merry King of France, they call him. Sitting in Frankfurt, ruling over France. I'm pretty sure there will be some uprising in there soonish. Oh, interestingly, that part here also now belongs to France. And that's, of course, because I think that was Liutprand's lands, and Popo inherited those as well when he died. Jesus Christ, look at that. That's one big Holy Roman Empire. I think we've surpassed Charlemagne now, because we also added Hungary. So, well, good for you, Bratislav. So it would make all the more sense for someone from here, from Ruthenia, to say, okay, I wanna get into this somehow. I need to get into this. This will be done soon. And she has a daughter as well. Right. There we go. By the way, can we... Yeah, we can attend again. Let me just quickly do that. Get some rest before we finish up our job. And there we go. Again, 45 gold. Yep, that is enough to get us where we want to be. And the weather is fine, so we go back home. And I think when we are back home, we can start planning. Oh, interestingly, he is now low Franconian. Okay. Right. Back home, and we are able to have the grand wedding. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot something. I saw that Heike here, well, she's 30 again. That's probably not the best age to remarry. But then again, this is just concerning our courtiers. And I do believe that she would mix well with Tankulf here. Both being brave, so there's that. Also, he should be able to marry in order to have to further the Rennenberg line. We do want that. So yeah, I think this will be done for them. So there we go. And unrelated to that, I think we would finally, yeah, he would want to do this. Engaging in non-lethal single combat with Tankulf. There's that. You get a wife, but you also get the sword. And there we are. For a few brief moments, Tankulf and I pace in lazy half circles and so on. It's always the same, right? Yeah, let's begin by saying I'll show you how I lift that mace. My form is good. His stance is passable, so we go in strike and parry and riposte mode. Oh yeah. It's well, we're still going. But his guard is now failing. His stance is failing. Yeah, let's just be confident about this then. Oh, now his stance is a disaster. Yeah, I think that is the best thing now to go about it, like to try to disarm him. And there we won! The yield is embarrassed but speedy. I am victorious. See? I bested you! And he was patched up quickly. That's good. I don't want him to die. Like I said, that's not his way of being in a... Yeah, being rivals with someone. There we go. We just put him in his place. Now we feel better about this, and now we can finally get to our nice grand wedding. Again, we can only have the budget solution. That's we are a small ball count in the end. I'll be fine. Now, who is invited? Extended family, of course. But the head of faith will not come for this, likely. Yes. Also, none of these guys will come over. That was to be expected, I guess. We will have counts from the region and so on, so there's that. Okay. What will we do? I think just attending the whole thing will be stressful enough, so yeah, just recreation would be fine. Don't try anything else. This is just focus on the prize. There we are. By the way, is he... Where is he then? Ah, right, he's... that's why nobody's coming. Damn it. We have another king in Hungary, and he is currently having his coronation. Well, at the end of the day, I think it's fine. Maybe Ezzo even liked the excuse. So he'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry, all the big ones couldn't make it because of that coronation. So so he doesn't have to network with all these people. All right, this has obviously taken a while. 8 months until it begins. Where is she? She's on her way. On her way. Cross Poland and then get into the Holy Roman Empire. Of course, I could attend court again. No, not going to do that. We are awaiting. Just try to remember, like I didn't forget anything, right? I did the thing with, I did the duel, so that was that. My children, Winfrieda and Richinza, approach me with identical cold smiles. It seems they have found a common enemy and have devised a plan for retribution. They want to get back at a page who laughed at them. Their plan is to switch the salt and sugar in the kitchens just before the page is due to serve a dish, ensuring the page gets the blame for the ruined food. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That is not how we approach revenge and justice, I think. That teaches a good lesson. I think he will take that option here. If you cause trouble, you will face the punishment. Like, he would not go directly against it. I don't think it's up to him to scold them for that. But, yeah, he will not condone this either. By the way, he is hypocritical, right? That whole, like, imprisoning his former lover, banishing her, that was not the kind of... That was pretty underhanded. But he gets to be hypocritical because he's vengeful and still believes to be a very just person. My courtiers, Karlman and Markswith, approach me with a fire in their eyes. Your Grace, says Karlman, their voice thrumming with excitement. We crave a challenge worthy of your glorious reign. They dare me to ride with them to the summit of the Widow's Peak during the next great thunderstorm, to stand on the highest point in the realm and laugh as the heavens rage around us. What could be a greater show of defiance and power? All right, okay. Not sure where that is coming from. He's currently not in the mood, right? His mind is very focused on marriage, family. No, it's fine. We can do that some other time. Not now. Six months still. I am worried that she doesn't like him. That this will be not a very nice marriage. Oh, we'll get to that. I guess what we could try is learning her language. And yeah, from her, because there's, like, yeah. She would have some kind of entourage, I think. And then, yeah, she would probably have some place to live in Sayn that is not maybe directly at court. Where she would have her own entourage, her own little court. At least I think that would be expected. And I think when it comes to resources, that we are quite decent. Probably one of the wealthier counts in the Reich. So that's fine. And that would have been something that King Vyacheslav would have been very concerned about. Like, would she be able to live in a certain status? Three months? I can speed this up. Things are happening around us. Okay. He does have another daughter. He has a son already. Okay. By the way, I did finally change him here to being of House Dortmund. Being the Graf of Dortmund. That's befitting. And there we go. She is close now. And she has arrived. 27 days until it begins. Is everyone here? Everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, yeah, it's a cozy affair. Oh yeah, and the arousal is causing stress. Oh no. Oh, by the way, I think I did reverted my settings. So yeah, okay. We don't want the YouTube to be mad with us for showing 3D models in the flesh. It always feels amazing when you have been planning for something for so long and spent so much money on it, and it's finally there. Everything is ready, the decorations are in place, the guests are mingling, and servants scurry around with loaded dishes. I'm pacing around in excitement and nervousness when my future spouse, Vyacheslava, appears radiant in her finest attire. We are ready to begin. Oh, I cannot wait. Aww. Our sister gave her some flowers. That's very nice of her. Making her feel at home. I pity you, liege. Marksworth tells me what married life is like, full of bickering, mistrust, and strife. The end of any peace. Like me and Franz, she grumbled. Well, yeah, okay. Is that what my marriage to Vyacheslava will be like? It's perfect for me. I'll have my hobbies. Well, that is the best one percentage-wise, right? But I think he would just tell her that he knows all about marriage because he had been married before. Well, that was apparently... You fear this marriage will pose challenges you never expected. True, that is true. So he does have the wedding jitters now. Oh, my contact network expanded. See? Everyone is excited and amazed by the magnificence of the wedding venue, everyone but Marksworth. There she is again. Since her arrival, Marksworth has been prowling, searching for any pretext to complain. Are you wearing makeup? Those colourful veils are sinful. What's with all the unchaste mingling? Is this all a show of luxury and lust? Oh, well, Marksworth. Is he going to snap here? Because she already made him feel bad? I usually don't pick this option, right? But I think it is now fitting. Yeah. She can go outside now. I don't need any naysayers around me right now. I'm nervous as is. Oh, at least there's that. We have cultural acceptance. Good. Okay. Okay. Just be calm. Everything will be alright. Weddings are just politics. I steel myself as I wait for my future wife to join me. Just politics, I repeat myself. How bad can it be? But nothing has prepared me for the moment I finally see Vyacheslava for the first time. No portrait or description could do justice to the gentle look on her face. No poet has ever sung a beauty such as hers. The time hangs still when our eyes meet and everyone else seems to disappear. Then she smiles at me, and I know everything will be all right. Oh, isn't that cute? He just went in there with all this like nervousness, and people around him were telling him that this is bad. It was a very bad idea. He should have gone with the safe option, marry the Habsburg. But no, he went for the difficult route. And she is pretty, I think. That's definitely true. So, yeah. It worked. And she thinks so as well. I do believe he's a handsome guy. So, there's that. The ceremony went on a blur. I can barely remember all the steps, rituals, and blessings I went through. And now it's time for our vows. The formal consent. The actual seal on the marriage. Do I want to spend the rest of my life with her? I do! Yay! And we gained some renown. As the ceremony concludes and we all move to the banquet venue, I secretly smile to myself, picturing the joys to come from my married life with Vyacheslava. Not everyone can be so lucky to marry such a likable person. I wish everyone to share in on my happiness, and let's all tuck in! Yes, he is happy now. This has worked out way better than he imagined. Though not the absolute grandest affair, the evening's entertainments are still on an exciting array of actors, acrobats, jugglers, and more. Near my seat, both Graf Martin and Graf Timo share their opinions on the display. Mercurial people, performance, this is plenty. It's risky to have too many in one place, Martin nods. Bah! As they're adequate. Hardly the spectacle I was expecting. Timo moans. Hey you! Careful! Yeah, you know what? I think he's in a good mood, and therefore he's just going with the person that kind of compliments him. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Martin. There he is, Martin of Mayen. Oh, we already have our first perk. Well, makes all the sense then go down that route now, right? He wants to be a family man. I guess that would also extend to his daughters then. Let's see what we can do for them. By any reasonable standards, the evening's food is an exciting medley of textures, flavors, and spectacle. Though this is a particularly special occasion. Near my seat, both Graf Martin and Graf Adam share their opinions about the spread. There we have it again. It's important to indulge every now and then, muses Martin, and this is exactly how I like to do it. Bah! A feast should near bankrupt the realm, Adam snorts. Else what's even the point? Well then go ahead and do it yourself. Bah. And that from my ally. So, yeah, let's just ignore him and go with Martin again. We really like the man. That's a very nice man. Martin. Yeah, he's already pinned. Good. I know I should be spending time with my new wife, Vyacheslava, and her family, but I just can't tear myself away from Martin. I can see Vyacheslava starting to glare at me, but every time I try to excuse myself, Martin has me howling with laughter all over again. Oh, Martin. He's just the man. Oh, dear. What a joy to have Martin who becomes my best friend. I think this is going a bit too fast, is it? I could just invite her in. I could sneak out and then confide in Martin, okay. Or I just excuse myself and then spend time with her. Given our relationship with her and how we feel about her, I think it makes sense that we would spend time with her now. But I will roll for just the second or fourth option. It's the last option. You must excuse me. I need to spend time with my new wife. Every feast. There's always one. Ah, yeah, there we go. There's the every single feast, one long-winded, ill-born, pissant, cornering people who will just not be silent. Well, we figured that he is in a good mood, so I think he would not be snooty here. Yeah, I don't think he would also give into it. So I will just pick the first option or the second option. I think that's fine here. It's the second option again. We just grin and bear it. Okay, you do your thing. Oh, and Vyacheslava is impressed. Good for her. She's not going to do that, right? Oh, there's a 2% chance. Now, I think we would not demand that from her. It's fine if we just do that publicly, and then she can continue to follow her faith. Throughout the meal, I find myself easily drawn into Isentrude's conversation. Okay. She has some very interesting opinions, makes the very best jokes, and we seem to have so much in common. Whenever I'm recounting an anecdote, she listens attentively and chips in with all the appropriate comments at the appropriate time. Who would have thought I'd find such pleasant company at this wedding? Okay. Then we would have another friend. Jesus Christ. Let's roll for that one. I'm inclined to put the first one in, but then again, he's shy, so he might not do that. And yeah, he doesn't do that. He's a shy person in the end. It's enough, right? That's just enough. We can have a good time, but that doesn't mean we are this very sociable person. Oh, dear Lord. The banquet hall's trimmings are beautiful, a medley of murals and rare flowers, even if they're not strictly the most expensive available. Near my seat, both Martin and Timo share their opinions. Wonderful, chortles Martin. Enough frippery to make it special, not enough to outshine the happy couple. Honestly, I have to say I prefer a... Timo searches for the polite phrase. A heavier touch on the fripperies. Ugh, okay. I will roll for this one now, because, again, we could side with Martin, but no, I think it's time we don't get involved in this anymore. This is just as close as it gets. He's a shy person in the end. The feast has started winding down with everyone sated and tired, but the day is still not over for Vyacheslava and me. A procession of guests leads us to our bedchamber, for the legitimacy of the wedding depends on it being consummated. It is time. As the banquet reaches its climax, I grow more and more anxious in anticipation of the bedding ceremony, and it's clear Vyacheslava shares none of my reservations. She turns to me as the procession sets us off to our chambers, laughing. You look like a ghost, husband. Relax. Over the hollowing and drumming. Right. Okay, so this is the option where... I have to say that all the time, right? I do say it all the time, but maybe it needs repetition. This common picture that we have of the couple being expected to actually perform in front of everyone else at court is very incorrect. And that's, I don't know. I think it's the way we like, or some people like to think about the Middle Ages as this, I don't know, somewhat morally loose age, which it really wasn't. People were very, very well, they had their own set of morals, obviously, but they were sticking to it when they could. Obviously, there have been some occasions where that was not the case. But this whole thing, what would happen here is actually, it would be another ritual. And it would just be like they had to be in the same bed, and maybe the bishop would come and put the blanket over them. And that would be it, and then they would leave. So this is not a big thing. But again, maybe he feels like he should do it. I'm going to roll again. I'm rolling all the time now. I'm always... This die here, I need to keep it for my pen and paper, because it always rolls a 6, apparently. It's not weighted, is it? No, that's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 4. Okay, it's not weighted. Well, yeah, we suppose it is expected, so we will go with it, with the ritual. The fire in the grate has started to wither, and I stared at its flames in silence. The light, its warmth. Gräfin Vyacheslava is searching for something in her wooden chest, and I take my eyes off the flames to look at her. Ezzo, she says, offering me a small package wrapped in silk. I've saved this since I heard of our betrothal, and now I now offer it to you as a token of my love. Oh. Yeah, let's pick the option where he's nicest, right? Yeah. We don't even need the romance scheme. We're already romanced. Haha. And let's see. We got a house embroidery ribbon. Oh, that's very nice. Oh. I always like to put it in a row where I have the most important one to the left. We have a signet ring. Let's keep the pressed orchid. And maybe Mummy's perfume. Ah, by the way. Should we... Yeah, I will think about it in a moment. Once the wedding is done. Because we can still host a funeral, right? Ah, how soft the skin of Gräfin Vyacheslava is, how delicious the smell of her hair. Certainly my wedding night is going exactly how I expected. We quickly become devoted to the cardinal sin. Such is our passion that, without paying attention to the candles that scarcely light the room, I accidentally knocked one down with my foot. Don't stop, my dear. But God has different plans for us, and the hay mattress is quickly lit by fire. Oh no! I need to save her. Oh, Jesus Christ. I did it! I saved her! Woo! Oof. And finally, the last guest leaves. I look around at the deserted venue and the burned bedchamber. The food leftovers, the spilled spiced wine on the floor, the echoes of people's laughter still lingering in the air, and feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a very fine job organizing it. Yeah, that went about as well as as it could have been. It was very good, in fact. So, great. There we are. Are we even... I guess it helped us with our legitimacy. Right, we're about to learn a language from her. That's very nice. We can also lay with her. And yeah, I think he would do that. We are now very much in that mode. Okay, we do that as often as we can until we have our little one. By the way, how's that going? Again, so I am probably able to host a funeral. But no, it's too late, apparently, to do that for our mother. Yeah, would have been a while. Okay. There's that. So, there we go. Let's just... Yeah, I think we can spend the summer like this, and then let's see what we will do in the next year. Before our marriage, the people of Sayn likely knew my new wife only as daughter to the king of Ruthenia, if at all. Well, yeah, if at all is very much a given here. Then, as word spread, they primarily gossiped about the fact that the new Gräfin was going to be orthodox. Those who journeyed to the castle and actually saw her at court whispered about the choice of her outfit that day, as well as how it seemed like she wasn't ready to rule at my side. Yacheslava, for her part, cleverly spoke to all the right people about all the right things, from the most important members of the court to those servants she could tell actually ran the castle. It was a wonder to behold how quickly she had them eating out of her hands. A most auspicious beginning. Let us hope this is a sign of things to come. Oh, good stuff. An auspicious beginning. Oh, that's good for her. We can see she is capable. That is very nice. Also means like we get to benefit from her. So we currently get +2, +1, +1, +2, +1. Yeah, nice. Oh, by the way. Wow. She can hold herself. She can hold her own in a fight. We do have some prestige. I'd like to... 570 we would need, okay, for the update to the granary. Well, I'm going to wait for that one then. He is searching for that. Yes. Anything else we should be looking for? By the way, how are they doing? Are they fine? Friends. Okay. Friends. So. Are you getting pregnant? that's so you're gonna say that every day now. Are you pregnant yet? How about now? Are you pregnant? I'm putting all my efforts into this. I'm back on the battlefield. The mud is clinging to my boots. The rank stench of the dead is salting my nostrils. Yeah, okay, he's sleeping. Once again, I'm reliving the day I lost the Battle of Wiesbaden against Herzog Goffredo of Lower Lotharingia. I wake up gasping, cold beads of sweat clinging to my face. Vyacheslava stirs beside me but doesn't wake. I must deal with my troubles alone. I should try to forget this or I'll never lose again. Ah. That does sound fitting. Yes. He's obsessed with vengeance for a while. Okay. Let's take that into account. By the way, that guy here. He had been around our venue mocking the wedding at every turn, at every possible moment. He tried to deliberately say something mean and rude, and he was generally a nasty person, Timo of Dortmund. I have finally added a mod that I was skeptical about for some time, mostly because it tampered with the dual configuration, and I saw that as very unnecessary. I think they have removed that, or at least I tested it in a private game, and I did not encounter any problems, and we just had a duel here and it was fine. So the mod that I've added is called Insult to Injuries, and it adds a lot of possibility for interactions that would lead to rivalry, which I like because the base game does not offer this, right? It's being in a feud or being rivals with someone is very, very passive. Someone else has to be a rival with you, someone else has to start a feud, and often it feels very, very arbitrary. And it's very hard to put it into roleplay terms when this happens out of the blue, right? You would have a feud out of nowhere with another family, and there's no precedent for it. So we can now choose those precedents, and we can, in fact, send him an insult. There we go. Effects on Graf Timo. He will lose 40 opinion. So there's a 50% chance the target is offended, but will do nothing about it. So there's that. 25% the target is enraged and may challenge you to an honor duel. We will gladly take that. Or 25%, this will lead to possible consequences. I don't know what these are. Well, 50%, nothing will happen. But we do send him an insult saying, you are a miserable man. I do not like you. And you should behave better when you're invited to someone else's nice feast. Keep that in mind, old man. Right, I hope he gets the memo. Alright, there's that. There's more functionality to that, by the way. We could actually peruse the local tavern. We could get some thugs that go and beat Timo up. So there's all these kind of things. A challenge to my rule has emerged. My advisors debate the measured response, speaking of diplomacy and caution, but I feel the familiar heat in my blood. This is prey. This is a threat. Every instinct I possess screams at me to act decisively, to strike hard and fast. The hunter does not hesitate when the moment arrives. I can see exactly how this should unfold, a swift, overwhelming response that leaves no doubt about who holds power in this realm. Let them see teeth and claws, but a quieter voice suggests restraint might be the wiser. No, he's in a mood, I think. Things are going his way. He knows that this is how he excels. So, we'll go at it. And there he is! My counselor rushes into the room, full of panic. Graf Timo has arrived and is causing mayhem outside. The cur is seeking retribution for the heinous insult I sent. Is it because I said he is an evil swain? Or maybe because I said his mother is a cur? I do not know. Maybe that's okay. I don't even know his mother. She's not even known. Maybe it would be best to send some knights to take care of it. My champions stand ready to heed my commands. Well, oh God, look at his knights. He has brought Rodolf, 0 prowess, Cord, his own bishop. Jesus Christ. I can imagine him standing there with a knife in his hand. and a woman with prowess 3. So that's your entourage, mate. That's is that supposed to scare me at all? With Ademar, Karlman, and Popo at my side. Well, obviously, we're not taking the last option here. I can do this myself. Face your opponent in non-lethal combat. So let the lads know someone is looking for them. You send your knights to repel the intruders. The chance of success depends on the prowess of your knights. If they lose, Graf Timo will force the confrontation. Well, obviously, they will be able to force them off. That would... But of course, we know that this is personal for us. So, no. We will take matters into our own hands. We will fight him. There we are. The moment simmers as my opponent and I lock eyes like two feral beasts. I can tell Graf Timo is feeling as nervous as I. His palms sweaty, knees buckling, arms heavy. I can even tell there's a bit of vomit on his gambeson already. Mum's pottage. What? His wives, probably. A crowd is gathered to witness what promises to be an epic duel. My opponent, Graf Timo, glares at me with hateful eyes. One of us will leave this field with our honor intact, the other will leave it in the dirt. Well, this is going to hurt. For a few brief moments, and so on, it's always the same, right? The bout begins, he cracks his neck, then starts raining blows against my guard, a marathon of crushing thwacks that almost break me with their relentless ferocity. Oh, I didn't think that would be so crass. Oh, let's go back then, right? Yes. We just strike at him in the same fierce way. Is he doing anything? Oh, he's taking a knife to his hand. Oh, that's not very good for us, I think. But I will show him how I lift a mace. Is passable. And now I get to have a knife to hand. If he does that, I can do it too. If he fights dishonorably, I will fight dishonorably too. Oh, he's doing well for his 7 prowess, I can tell. But he will probably fall to our expert onslaught, and he does. My mace arm moves fast as lightning and strikes as hard as sundered stone. Blow by blow, I beat my opponent into bloody concussed submission, hammering him into the ground with all the fury St. George can lend me. There we are. I am victorious. And I am, in fact, now an aspiring blade master. Would you look at that? He is wounded, of course. I gained some... Am I a Hastelooter, by the way? Is that even a thing? Oh, yes, I am. Okay. Well, good for me. Of course, yeah, Of course, he went to the tournament with his father. The melee comes to a finale. It's not a final. As I expertly dodge the clumsy stabs and pokes headed my way. With a precise quickness, I deliver a crushing counter fast as lightning. Graf Timo was unable to dodge my ultimate attack, and my weapon smashes into his body with a thunderous clang, sending him flying off to the side. And then it was over. Graf Timo lies defeated at my feet, gasping for air through a ruined helm. My honor is restored, and the weight of my hate feels, for a fleeting moment, lightened. Ah, that feels good. There you go. Now, get back. Get back home. Go on. With your bishop. And your woman in the rags. And look at this. My swift and overwhelming strike was a complete success. The threat to my rule has been annihilated. Fits well with just happened. And my power is now absolute. The confrontation was brutal, but it was also a necessary and flawless demonstration of my strength. My court is in awe. They see a ruler who is not just powerful, but an apex predator who does not tolerate challenges. My reputation as a fierce and unconquerable leader is now cemented. All will know to fear the tiger. Does he even know what a tiger is? I don't think so. I don't think so. You would only know a lion from coats of arms. Oh, and what do we have now? Oh, and now he comes back to me. My fellow counselors Timo and Eckhard are never idle. Their minds constantly working. They see a realm full of untapped potential for improvement and believe our liege Egbert lacks the necessary drive and focus to realize it. They have already drafted detailed plans for a realm-wide initiative to improve infrastructure, streamline administration, and increase efficiency. Now they want us to present it as a non-negotiable demand. They believe that hard, relentless work is the only path to true prosperity, and that we must begin at once. Well, he respects us now, is he? So he's coming to us now. Well, Eckhard does so too, right? So, and we like Eckhard. It is wise, obviously. So yes, let's go for it. He refuses, obviously. Okay. By the way, we do have enough prestige now to invest in our fully stocked granaries. There we go. Unlocks the manipulate grain market decision. Grain field building. Okay. Well. It's related to grain fields. Maybe that is what we do. Maybe that's the fourth one should be a grain field. Makes total sense. Right. Oh, he's not so bad now when it comes to his... Okay. Do we actually have someone who would... yeah, of course. Barthélemy. Ah, and they are now learning her language as well. Yeah, that is nice. That is nice to see. That they are actually... That means they're somewhat accepting of her, right? Good. All right. Are you pregnant yet? Is he already getting nervous? Relax, mate. You have time. I guess when the snow is retreating, we can go back to Cologne once more. Have a look at what is happening there. Away, everything is fine here. Fine there. She is pregnant once more. Nice. She is pregnant. That is great. Good stuff. Oh, and she got us some money. Look at Vyacheslava. That was already the best decision because... Oh dear. My master of the hunt, Franz, enters my chambers brimming with excitement. I am hearing strange things from the gatekeepers of Sayn. They tell of glimpses of a stag with snowy white fur. It is said to roam the flatlands, though none have got close to it. There are indeed legends of such beasts. White, you say? Like the white boar? Could it be true? Did it come from the south? Likely. Oh wow. That is ominous. That is an ominous sign that things are happening. I think we should at once try to seek this beast. There we go. Well, yeah. Let's look for more people to go with us on this hunt. Let's see. We will get some support from our dear fellow counts. Might even try to get some others into this. By the way, what does that do? If I... More prestige on completion. Oh, what the heck? Why not? Let's make a big thing out of this. Let's see that as... Well, I guess the rivals can come too. I'm not too concerned about this. We know he's a trusting man. He wouldn't know... He wouldn't think that you know, Thankov here would do anything stupid. That's... No. Why would he? There's no reason to do that. Can we? That's our former brother-in-law. Is he coming? No. Son not coming either. Not... Why can't I even invite them? Alright, yeah, he's fighting. That makes sense. Oh, and by the way, he is defending against Duke Deodat of Valois in the war for Duke Deodat's claim on the Kingdom of France. There we go. It's already on the way. Thing is, though, if he loses, that does not mean that France becomes independent again, I think. I think it would still be... What is that, though? Is that... That's them. That's... Well, or maybe it is. Well, we will see. We will see. We will see. And what the signs are even getting louder. She has become pregnant. And Franz here, who is as wide as the stag, is calling for the hunt. Oh, and now Richinza has come of age. There she is. Not the happiest gal. But that's fine. We'll look for a good husband for her. And I think his family focus will now lead him to wanting the really best for her. And therefore, I think he will look for... to arrange an introduction. Oh, and we have discovered the battlements innovation. That is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Because that means we can upgrade the castle. And we know how he likes to be an architect. That's something to keep in mind. Obviously, we were nowhere near the funds that we need for that. Franz. Our master of the hunt summons the party together as the light reaches the hunting grounds nestled in Zion's flatlands. My many gamekeepers and flushers have been poring over the area for tracks and fumes. They haven't found anything, but I can feel it. The elusive creature is out there, somewhere nearby. Yep, it is somewhere. Oh, and there we are. Ta-da! There's the elk again. Oh yeah, of course. That means that our sister is now the Queen of France. That's great. Especially for our renown. A great oak presents itself with its majestic crown, reaching far and wide, covering everything below in darkness. Looking up towards its branches reminds me of the various dynasties that come and go, all of those who came before me, and those who will pass my legacy forward when I am gone. As I get closer, I notice several carved initials on its bark, leaving a gentle reminder that people come and go through the ages, and the person I'd want to pass on my legacy with is my everything, Vyacheslava. Carve that into the bark. Is it... well... yeah. No, but again, purposeful man. He is here for something different. He is here to hunt for the white stag, so he would not think about this. He is here to hunt. Once again, I find myself in the wild searching for the elusive white stag, and I'm yet to spot even a single trace of it. That is until I see a set of animal tracks leading far away from the path. Ademar grabs my arm fervently and pulls me away. He assures me that these are not the tracks of the legendary beast, but an ordinary stag. I can follow the tracks regardless, or I suppose that he is right. He is a trusting man in the end. Ademar here is an experienced hunter, he's a good knight and so on, so yeah, I suppose you're right. Toot toot! My huntsmen say they know the place of the beast's covert and the nearby water holes and grazings the stag frequents. Though it is by no means an easy thing to do. If we were to carefully creep up on the buck, we could perhaps catch it unawares with our bows. Should we do that? Yes. If that is recommended, then we will do that. Bow in hand, quiet steps, eyes on the oak trees as I await the stag, a deep breath, and... is that Tankulf? My insatiable rival crouches in the oak trees ahead of me, fully concentrated on the approaching buck. I glance around surreptitiously. This might be the best opportunity I get. No, that is not the time, of course. I lose a lot of stress here. But again, we're not out there to murder him. He is a rival, and that is something we actually do, we do appreciate somehow. Okay, guys, drum roll. It's not enough. After hours of riding, scouring every corner of the plains, I'm forced to admit defeat to the fading light. The white stag disappeared like a spirit the moment we saw it, seemingly leaving no trace of its scent or tracks. As I turned to return to camp, the distant calls of a stag taunt me across the darkening landscape. I will find you. I will find you. He will not let go for a while, I think. That is definitely out there. Yeah, the hunt fails. Again, I don't really know how I can get a better success chance here. And from the past, I've only managed to do this like 3 or 4 times during my whole, 5,000 hours of playing this game. And when I did, I always had more than 60%. Never worked in that region down here. So, well, make of that what you will. Doesn't mean he's giving up. Everything that could go wrong seemed to do so, but there were silver linings to be found. Ehrenfried gathers the disappointed party and exhausted hounds for the trip home. The stag indeed eluded us this time. As you do see, we at least gain some experience. There's lots of legitimacy that we gain. Wow! There's also some prestige. And the sighting remains. Again, that is difficult because we cannot host a hunt for the next 22 months, so we have to be very fast after that if we want to do it again. Yes, that's how weird the game is, because sometimes it takes a lot of time to be able to host the hunt, right? It takes like 8 months or so after you proclaim it, and that might be too long at that point. All right. It is April. He's just come home. The wife is pregnant. She is pregnant for 4 months. Are we able to quickly go back and forth? We might even take the chance to visit our... let's go that route then. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. To go that route then. And yeah, as we have to travel through the dreaded forest, we should take a forest guide. Look at that. Even that still has a 3%. It's 3%. What could go wrong? Yes, let's visit our son-in-law, who might not be there. Oh, it's the Song of the Lorelei. We know of that, of course, but our father was the one that usually had these events. The Rhine narrows here, rushing between towering cliffs in a tumult of white water. Above the most treacherous stretch rises the Lorelei Rock, a sheer pillar of slate that has claimed countless ships and sailors. Adelhard, your boatman crosses himself as you approach. The golden maiden sits atop that rock at dusk, he whispers. She sings, and men forget their oars, forget their lives, forget everything but her voice. The current takes them, and the rocks finish what she started. As if summoned by his words, the setting sun paints the cliff-top gold. For a moment you could almost swear you see a figure there, but it is only shadow, surely. Only shadow. Is he? He's a bit overly confident currently, is he? Or maybe that has put it, like the failed hunt, put a bit of a dent in that. I don't know what to do. No, he would certainly... I don't think he would do that. But I guess all the other 4 here are fine, so we'll just roll for that one, I think. Let's just re-roll it, a 5 or 6. It's a 1, so in that case, that would be the one, right? Tell me more of the legend, please. And again, that is not a thing of the time, sadly. That is a romantic poem written in the 19th century. So we visit it. While traveling in Limburg, we came across some old ruins. Ruins so old we didn't even recognize them as ruins at first, as we all thought they were randomly placed stones. Limburg. Could that technically be Roman ruins? Technically, possibly. Only when Lothar, who has some knowledge of such ruins, came closer did he recognize the site as man-made. The structure, he says, has been badly worn down by the elements. As he briefly rests by these ruins, Lothar remarks with a sigh, life is so ephemeral, isn't it? To think that these must have been some sort of glorious building ages ago. Someday we too will be in even worse shape than these ruins, says he. By the way, what's that picture in the background? Is that a screenshot from Oblivion? Kind of, because that reminds me of how they structure the elven architecture there. Weird. Anyways, yeah. Anything of this is really... We'll just roll for it. All the more reason for us to enjoy life, not stress ourselves out, Lothar. That is my takeaway. Don't worry, be happy. That's the important message. I don't know. We had been traveling for much of the day, weary and tired, as there hadn't been a good place to properly rest for several hours. Wasn't this supposed to be a well-traveled road? Yet lo and behold, we eventually saw a small stream of water, and what more, there were old worn-out bronze cups hung by chains to a nearby boulder. It seems that the locals, or perhaps whoever was in charge of this region, generously provided these cups to travelers to more easily collect water. Oh, thank you. And we have learned the language that our wife speaks, East Slavonic. By the way, didn't he already... Yeah, he already knew Slavonic. Okay, so I guess that's why it was a bit easier for him to learn that. Wow, he speaks so many languages. Look at him. It's a polyglot, right? That's what you would call that. Oh, and we do have a perk, by the way. Yes! Groomed to rule. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see? Adelheid gained 3 diplomacy, 2 martial for Richinza, just 1 stewardship for Winfrieda. Let's get into court and perform our duties. I guess we do that all the time, right? So we need to switch it up a little. Do something different. What would we consider? Maybe we could distribute arms. Maybe that's something that obviously our archbishop would get behind, would think that's a very nice thing to do. And I guess for now we don't need the bureaucrat if it means investing, right? I don't want to invest my hard-earned prestige. So, okay. Martin is helping. Martin is doing his thing. Oh, by the way, he's malnourished. Oh, eat, man. You should eat. Do eat. Right, but where's... No. Oh. Our daughter is currently our regent. Interesting. I did not think that she would be the regent. Maybe because she's pregnant. She's pregnant for 6 months. I do believe we can return home and keep doing our work. Can also distribute arms here. That's fine. Don't need to do that in Cologne. I can leave some agents in Cologne that do the distribution for us. Oh no. Frankfurt has... I'm reading it out because that's, I think, the first time that he got the event. Frankfurt has become the crossroads of the world. The Herbstmesse, the autumn fair, that is now being held in June. Has drawn merchants from Venice and Novgorod, London and Constantinople. The streets overflow with exotic goods, silks from the east, furs from the north, spices that perfume the air with mystery. But such wealth attracts danger. Augustine spotted suspicious... Who's Augustine? I guess that's the forest man. Suspicious characters watching your party. Perhaps thieves, perhaps worse. In the narrow alleys between merchant stores, anything can happen. Right, okay. So that could be an opportunity, apparently. I prefer to shop myself. The fair overwhelms me. Let us find quiet quarters and rest. I have no interest in Venetian schemes. Good day. There is that point where he is trusting, right? And he is gullible to a degree. I think I will roll for 1, 2, 3. And I roll a 3, so that's the middle option, right? Which was the middle one? That one here. Yeah, that's too much for him right now. We just keep away. All right, let's go inside. There we are. Shouldn't it be better, though, for a wife to do that? Oh, she is good at this, I guess. No, we will not make love to her, obviously. That might harm her. Oh yeah, and also we could go and pay homage, right? I guess we could do that technically, but we're not going to do that now. She is pregnant for 7 months, and we will be here. Oh, and Wiltrudes von Hachenburg has come of age. Could that be the time for her to marry? She could marry Lothar, of course. Oh dear. Not looking forward to their children. But does that make sense? Yeah, they're both wrathful guys. So yeah, might be good for them. Oh yeah. I'm still waiting. And of course he would be anxious, given to what happened to Radegund, his former wife. Very anxious. 8 months in. It's a prolonged drum roll here. It needs to be 9 months in, right? So yeah, there we are. Any day now. Vyacheslava, you've been so brave, so strong. Words cannot describe my love for you, and now we have a perfect little daughter. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? Ah, it is a daughter. Maria is a very nice name. That should be a name that she would also resonate with, so yeah, fine. Yeah, it's, of course, we were hoping for a son. It was a daughter, but at least they are both fine. That is the biggest part here. My lord, my heart would not know rest until I found you again. It is I, Oda. Surely you remember me, my songbird? I cannot believe my eyes. The beautiful woman I stumbled upon outside my castle many moons ago has shown up at court. Well, is he even able to show some sense of forgiveness? Well, if he was, then of course that would not lead to anything between him and her. He might offer her a marriage. Would that be something that he would do with Barthélemy, for example? I will roll for this, but this is his likely reaction. It's only that because of what happened since, that he did find love with Vyacheslava, that things worked out the way he wanted, that he might be inclined to show some mercy here. But I will leave it at a small chance. This is a 1 and 2, and this is a 3 to 6. It is a 1. It is actually a 1. So, he says, okay, that if you don't, well, you should not cling to me for this. I will allow you to come to my court, and I will allow you a marriage with Barthélemy here. But that will be it. Well, they're not married. Does she have to be at my court for this? Oh, no. Okay, yeah, okay. Huh? Right, okay. When we did this, she was apparently still associated with another court. I see. Okay. Well, he's not going to do that, I think. Maybe it's something where Richinza could like, test the waters. See how she can make herself useful. Learn how to navigate a court. I think that would be the perfect position for that. And of course, we would think about her marriage and whom she could marry. There we go. Kriemhild has another son. She has become pregnant again. Adelheid is pregnant. Let's see. Who's on the market? I mean, none of the outlandish options, I think. How he is the heir to Gleiberg. Oh, he's a bleeder. But I don't think that would be, as we know, like, it's only known as some kind of illness for, I don't know, a little more than 100 years. So, is he... That's our first cousin, right? So there we go. We have to count, right? If there's more than, or if there's exactly 7 or more links, then that is a viable marriage. And he will say 1 with him. That's 1. So that's 2. Then that is 3. That is 4 and 5 and 6. Yeah. So no, that is off the menu. That is not a viable marriage here, right? They're too close in relations. That would also be viable. Premierschlitt. He is a son of Borzhivoj. Okay. Grandson of the great Herzog Vratislav. He's not going to inherit anything. That would be a problem. There's another Saffenberg. Oh, I think we're done with that now. Oh, there's Graf Markus. Hey, look at him. That's my name. Markus of Jülich. Well, that would make a lot of sense. But we will have to see if they actually click, right? We are not going to do the thing that we did before by just arbitrarily saying you're going to marry that man. No, we want to do right by her. We're now a family man. We want to make sure that she is able to have the marriage that she wants with the man that she wants. And therefore, we are allowing her to meet with him first and then see what will transpire. The invitation has been accepted and Graf Markus is on his way to Sayn. Richinza, at least, is pleased when I present the news of her potential future husband. He's coming here to meet me? She asked excitedly. I hear he's from a truly great family. Then she paused, considering. But what if he doesn't like me? Does that mean we won't be married, even after he comes all this way? We shall see, I said, and that was enough to placate Richinza's worries, at least for the time being. We prepare, and he's coming to meet us. Yeah. He is coming to join with us at a court. And then we'll see. There we are. Graf Markus finally arrived at Sayn early in the day and was quickly greeted in the castle courtyard by none other than Richinza herself. Fortunately, she still seems pleased by the idea of the visit and what it potentially represents, and their initial exchanges as she bade him welcome did nothing to dispel that. Meanwhile, Graf Markus was cordial and well-mannered. If anything, he was eager to get things underway. The actual introduction will begin in 2 days' time, where both of them spend time alone and get to know each other better. Alright, let's see. Oh, a spoiling dinner. After Graf Markus and his retainers were put up for the night, I held a small dinner in the Great Hall. A chance, I thought, for Richinza and the young man to speak before the more formal introduction tomorrow. It did not go well. Graf Markus clearly did not want to be there. He flinched when spoken to, kept his eyes on every doorway, and glared suspiciously when any servant drew near. One would think we were out to murder him. Even Richinza got little more than stares when she tried to interact. Let's hope that the introduction tomorrow turns things around, because this was not a great start. Yeah, he is a bit of a paranoid person. He's even worse than I when it comes to being a shy person, right? That's, okay. The chance of the successful outcome decreased. When the morning arrives, Graf Markus presents himself in the throne room, primed and preened and ready to spend the day with Richinza. He appears nervous, which is understandable, considering the eyes of the entire Sayn court are on him. If he has any reservations, he at least has the grace not to let them show. As for Richinza, she is far less guarded about her opinion. She has been beaming brightly at Markus from the moment he appeared, clearly eager to get the day started. While the court watches, Richinza steps forward and takes him out of the chamber. Her plan is to go leave the castle and explore the nearest village, apparently. The introduction is about to begin. Okay, we will see how this goes. The day that Richinza and Markus spent in each other's company turned out to be a successful one. They journeyed to a village near the castle, primarily in a tavern. Richinza was determined to make merry, I'm told, but even so, they had many chances to talk. Markus appeared to enjoy the merrymaking well enough, and they chatted amiably. Despite all the watchful eyes charting their every move, they seemed at ease, and the day appeared to be a success. As the sun began to wane and the couple were called back to the castle for dinner, Richinza privately confessed as much. "This is the man I want to marry," she said. "It is clear that Graf Markus feels the same. The question then, is their marriage still what I want?" "Yes, of course. Let's proceed." Indeed. There we go. I'm very happy that worked for her. Well, I hope it does work. There's still the dice roll for how they actually... There we are. After the ceremony, the feast and celebration lasted into the night. As the entertainment came to an end and it was at last time to leave, it could not help but be noticed that throughout the evening Markus and Richinza had little more than the faintest of attachment. The couple's connection to each other left much to be desired and seemed hardly enough to sustain a meaningful relationship. Okay. Well, she wanted it, but apparently not that much in the end. It'll be fine, though. At least they are not at each other's throats. He would not try to kill her. That's the most important here. Okay. Well, that means we also have... We don't have a spy master again. Ah, well. Again, don't really think we need one. Not for the time being, anyway. I think I will wait until we have 20 advantages. Just to make sure. Oh yeah, by the way, nobody in the court speaks Low German. Although I guess there will be speakers of Low German once some of the kids grow up, so that will be fine. I think we could leave it there. That should be okay. Oh yeah, by the way, Vyacheslava is fine, she is healed up. Time for us to go back to bed. Oh, he lost. Yes, he lost. And you see here, the Holy Roman Empire is still intact, but we do have now, we have another carpet king. There we go. That was a dream of his, right? Oh, good Popo. Well, I guess he still has his lands here in West Franconia. Oh, by the way, there's a oopsie. The Bratislav cuffs. 30th of June. Oh, that has been long gone. Okay. Apparently it's not going to reach us. We didn't get a warning. It reached as far almost into Isenburg. Well, I guess we're lucky the forest is there, so kind of it blocked the advance. Sometimes it's good that we have our Isenburg forest. Right. Oh, where's he going? Is there another... What's up with the Hungarians? Why do they have to have a new king every other year? Is that one of their things? Apparently there's a new king in town in Hungary. Okay. Right. Oh. Even the emperor was lending a hand. And there we are. Thank you, kind sir. The wretched beggar is one of the many destitute residents of Cologne, grateful for your charity over the last weeks. Bless you, and bless the Erzbischof for their benevolence. One of the Erzbischof's advisors, who has stopped by to observe, smiles at the scene. No doubt Erzbischof Eckbert will hear of these efforts. Good. Even gave us some piety that we desperately need. I think... maybe we could do something that our father already did. Oh, she's pregnant once more. Diddly. Great. By the way, who is now... Oh, yeah. Okay, so she is definitely now the one to... Oh, she's not that great, is she? Sadly. I thought she would be better, considering that she's intelligent. But apparently that doesn't relate to aptitude when it comes to being a regent. Swell armies, promote authority. And neither of these are really something that I terribly need. But I guess that's what she's best in, so there you go. I was thinking, maybe we could do that thing where we return to Aachen, you know, as an act of pious performance. There we go. Well, maybe this time not go south. There's the illness as well, so no, maybe not. Maybe this way. Why? 1% chance of danger. Jesus Christ. Okay. Why can't you go that way then? Anyways, so we could go to Aachen. We could go pray. Yeah, do we need to invest? Yeah, we don't have that much coin, do we? Base gain of 100, and that's only 50 more for like 20 gold. That's not a great exchange. What's that? Memorialization. Oh, we gain some renown as well. That's something completely different. Renown is quite valuable. For 20 gold, we will get 75 renown. That's a good exchange of value, I think. Let's do that. Can we? No, we cannot take our wife, obviously. I mean, she's pregnant anyway. She shouldn't be coming. But I guess we will take as many people as will want to go with us. And we would be worshipping. Yes. Right. Let's go. To Aachen. I mean, I could do a pilgrimage to Cologne, but that, I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me. That's like, that's where we work. Anyway. Could also go somewhere else, right? We could go to Rome, I guess. Or maybe we don't need to. It's not like we did something really, really bad. We only copulated out of wedlock. That's not that bad. He wasn't married anyway. That would be adultery. That would be something different. That would be a sin worthy to go to Rome to atone for. But no. Not just being a little fornicator. That's fine. Anyways, I've arrived in the center of Aachen, the great city of the Frankish ruler Charlemagne. Pilgrims bustle about, no doubt here to visit Aachen Cathedral and the city's other sites, just like me. I and my entourage decide to find appropriate lodgings for ourselves. Later, we will visit Aachen Cathedral and hopefully see the spiritual wonders stored within. I am glad to be here. Oh, look at that! All our sisters came. That's fun. Magdalene came. As did Kriemhild. Interestingly. Our daughter Richinza came with us. It's mostly the women, right? Interesting, okay. Maybe they come, but maybe he has invited them so that they will pray for, well, first of all, the child to be healthy that he is now going to have, and the mother to be healthy, and for it to be a son. So they are all coming along to pray for us. And even Adelinde here. Maybe that is the point where he starts to think, maybe she is on my side. Anyway, that's a very nice thing to do, that they did here for us. I appreciate that. In the past few days while at Aachen, I visited some other religious sites and met with some of the town's notables. Today, with all my other business taken care of, I can finally enter Aachen Cathedral itself at last. It is a remarkable and splendid building designed by a talented architect by the name of Odo of Metz. I sit in the main part of the cathedral, reflecting on my faith and engaging in prayer. A marvelous place. It is. After spending some time in the main part of the cathedral, I go to view the cathedral's unique treasury, which contains many relics and objects, both religious and secular. One item strikes my fancy, a truly astounding work of art which I find spiritually inspiring. Before my eyes is St. Stephen's purse, a rectangular gold reliquary studded with many, many gemstones. The purse contains soil said to be soaked with the blood of St. Stephen. when he was martyred and killed in the Holy Land in ancient times. His martyrdom was witnessed by Saul of Tarsus, who would later become the Apostle Paul. Indeed. Is he the one that gets shot? Like many different times, with many different arrows. Magnificent. Truly magnificent. Oh, I'm inspired by the ivory sigil on Aachen Cathedral. Look at that. My stay in Aachen comes to a close, and it is time for me to make the journey back home. Visiting the holy sites in this old and respected city is an amazing experience, and I leave feeling inspired by the things I've seen. We make preparations to leave. We gain some 200 piety, which is nice. We do some stress. We gain the trait pilgrim. And yeah, we do get the renown. Finish. And go back home. We are going back home. Still not endorsed by the bishop. Should we just jump over our own shadow and try to mend this? Yeah, I think it's about time. Yeah, the white stag is still rumored. I know. I do know. And yeah, will we trust her now? I think that was the thing that he needed to be able to trust her, so she can now be spy mistress. And now, with all the praying that has been done for Vyacheslava and our second child with her, will it be the son that we are hoping for? It's a big question. Obviously, it's going to take a while. Should we just quickly go back to Cologne? I mean, once we are able to host the hunt again, we will need to invest in that. So I guess we need to have some funds. By the way, he married a hunchback, right? Bertha. Okay. To the court! Oh, there's all these holy people around. Jesus. Oh, he's not in the best of health, is he? Oh! No! Not at all. Well, I guess in that case, well, they're all probably here to pray for him. So I guess it wouldn't be right to not pray, so let's spend some time in prayer. As we know, that is something proper to do. A temptress in the streets. As I'm traveling, I come upon two women arguing on the side of the road. One of them, a pretty young woman, appears to be beaten nearly to death by a second older woman. After stopping for a moment to listen in, I quickly surmise that the older woman is accusing the young maiden of having had some level of relations with her husband. The young maiden is vehemently denying these claims. While I'm not immediately connected to this affair as a lord, it would be an easy thing to intervene in one way or another. He would intervene, I think, and yeah, she will be beaten to death, and that will be just cruel. And I think, of course, that's a very pretty young woman. I don't think that's something he's immune to. Right. No. Also no. No, let's take care of her then. Let's take her in. Richvara. There you go. I think we have need of a new wet nurse, because Adelinde here is already 45. And you can only do that until you're 46, as we all know. Right, I guess we're staying for the time being. While Egbert here is still ailing. And he will be, as we know that consumption, especially under the game rules that I've set, is a deadly, deadly, deadly sickness. And there we go, right? That is what I said. So maybe we can have... Oh, or we could have Viltrudis. Apparently we would be great at this. I mean, yeah. There is this thing where your wet nurse would usually not be a highborn person. That would be a lowborn person. That is And they are both highborn, aren't they? She is a bastard. But then again, she's married to Franz. That wouldn't be very proper. So there we are. By the way, how are they doing? Or at least they're friends. Okay. But then again, I want to do this more realistically. So putting her in that position would be right. That being said, she should have a child. That would be good for her. Now we'll see about that when we get back. Right. By the way, I was here just quickly. Oh no, that's... Huh? All right, she's my regent now. I was here just quickly, right? And now I got... Damn it. I need to leave. I just went to do something. Then I found the bishop ailing. Then I thought I had to stay and pray for him. And now I'm almost missing the birth of my potential son. Oh dear. I have to get back home. Oh, and I missed it. With the babe cradle in her arms, Vyacheslava looks up at me. Well, she will once I'm returning. We should name him Paul in honor of the pious apostle. Well, haven't we just been to Aachen, where we learned about Saint Stephen, and it was written by Paul. But she's making that connection here. So maybe that is what we should go with. Maybe we should have a Paul. All right. It's Paul. My son Paul. All right, okay, we're back. Oh yeah. And like I said, I think I will indeed have some grain fields. To fill our own granaries so we don't have to buy everything on the market. That makes a lot of sense. Oh? Are they doing that thing again? He will always keep doing this. I don't understand, like, is that part of vanilla CK3? That the Emperor has a claim on Latium and Rome all the time. Should not be the case. Maybe that's something Green Eye TV can mend in his own mod, making sure that the Kingdom of Romagna is not de jure part of the Holy Roman Empire. I think that would make sense. Because this goes back and forth now. Now he... right, he's not in Rome. There's a different guy in Rome. But we will see it reverting in a few years. It's always a back and forth. And that does somehow emulate what we did see with the Kaisers against the popes, but yeah, not in that way. How's she doing? Fine, no kids. Winfrieda. I guess she's closest to us in terms of, like, her traits. There he is. Our son. Our son, Paul. He's now 39, so that's fine. Oh, and I'm over the 2-hour mark, so there's that. So at least we ended on a high this time. No real cliffhanger. So, great stuff. Everything worked out for our Ezzo, and I'll see you next time. So, cheers. Bye-bye.